Due to the ignorance of our host, parental discretion is advised.
Welcome back to How Did It Get So Good, episode 273. To say that I am moist right now is an understatement. So I got my boys from Advent Horizon.
Is that why it's so cold in here?
Yo, it's chilly in here.
It's cold.
It feels
I
so
walked
good.
in here. But I usually come. This is the first time, by the way, this is the first time, even at the office, that I wore this. Like, I didn't wear a hoodie. And then I'm like, okay, it's good. It's good. Because you usually have the hoodie all day long, and then you leave at 5 o'clock, and you're like, oh, it's disgusting outside, right? It's like, it's in that time. And then today, I'm like, I'm just going to rock a long sleeve. And then I came here, and I go, whew, what is going on? Like, I was touching that microphone, freezing.
Oh, I bet.
Nice.
Freezing.
Yeah, it's like they have the AC turned on in early April. It's like 50, 52 outside. You don't need the AC. What's going on?
How you doing, boys?
So good.
By the way, Advent Horizon just became a trio. And that's us.
That's us.
That's
all we need.
Yes.
2 drummers and a guitar player.
Honestly,
the
that
battle of the
would,
bands.
that would be really
The
sick.
battle of the drums.
Actually
Battle
would be
of the
pretty
drums.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm drinking this that Mike brought for me, Raspberry Blondie.
It has the mask on the front.
Now, I will say, I don't think I have ever seen you drink a beer.
That's because I've probably drank, I don't know, a couple dozen in my life.
Really?
Oh my god, most of the time now when we go out, we're at dinner or whatever, I'll order a beer and I'll just like roll it over to his side, just take a sip. He'll take a sip and be like, ew, this is nasty. And I'm like, this is one of my favorites. How do you
Have
not
you tried
like
that?
this?
What's the one that it's is it not pomegranate? I got my fruits confused. It's an orange one, Schaffenhofer or Hoffenschaffer.
I know what you're talking about.
It's an orange tall can. I love it. I love it. But I'm not I mean, even though I drink beer, unless it's something like this that is, it's. I mean, it says it on the name, right? Raspberry. But like all beer to me, and I want to get shot for this. They all taste the same.
I mean, because they're mostly the same. It's bread.
And
water.
I don't. Yeah.
It's lunch.
And I don't. And I don't enjoy it. I'm just a social drinker, so I'm like, I'll drink with the boys and shit. But
Yeah. Well, good.
That's the only reason to drink, in my opinion.
yeah, I just say like I never thought you've changed, Riley.
I'm
changed.
sorry.
Who
I
are
apo-
you?
For the good though.
Well, I believe the night that I met you was my first time ever setting foot legally in a bar.
That's right. See, I thought it was. So who's older out of the two of you?
Rylee,
By
like
2 weeks,
2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So because I thought that I've always had that in my head when we first met. One of you guys, it was barely legal for you guys to be in there.
It was
of
both
us.
of us.
It was a
Yeah.
December show. It was like December 15th or something, and we had both turned 21 within the 60 days prior to
Yeah,
that.
because I'm a November baby, so it was right
Ooh,
then.
November
Yeah.
rain.
Oh, pardon.
By the way,
Nice.
I've been doing that shit lately. I just posted a thing. I mean, not lately. I've been doing it for years now. Something triggers it, like words, and then I'll bust a song,
Nice.
bust a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Or a person.
Yeah, see, that's good. That's good.
Bust a move.
There you go. Bust a
You
move.
want it? Yeah, see.
You got it.
No, but yeah. So beer to me is just like, whatever. But I'll drink it just because the fellas are drinking it.
You know what I like, though?
What?
It's kombucha. I love kombucha.
I don't think I ever had that.
You got to try it.
Kombucha is delicious,
It's great.
and they can make alcoholic versions of it.
They can, and it's also very good. I like it more than
It is
beer.
tasty.
You know what I've had? What's that drink? The Polly's drink.
Oh shit! Fucking
I don't know why I want to say hookah, but it's not hookah.
no, it's kava. Kava.
Yeah, dude.
Kava.
That shit's great,
Kava.
dude. No, for real though. Out west a little bit, there's this little strip mall that just has this one little room that you can walk in that has 2 kava dispensers. Like that's it. You just walk into this random shady room that's open like 24/7.
Yeah.
And there's 2 vending machines, and you can just get these pre-packaged things of kava.
I had
I sometimes dabble.
I had back when the Beehive was a little newer, we had DB and Buddha from the radio. And one of the things that I asked is like, because they used to have a podcast together, and Buddha was always drinking kava. And like, so when I was talking to one of them, I say, hey, can you guys bring kava? And they're like, sure. And I sat here in the couches that you guys know, which we're just right out here.
Nice.
All these guys are using it.
Yep.
And and I had it. And he was like, it was, I mean, it tastes like dirt. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it's like
gross.
But it's a satisfying dirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like when it's like cold, it's a satisfying dirt. You're like, you take a sip, you're like, oh, that's dirt.
So it's like high alpine mountain on a crisp morning dirt. Like the you
Yes.
know, when you walk out, you get out of your tent, you're camping, and there's that. It's like a beautiful morning, and you can smell the dirt. It's that quality.
When's the last time you
Yeah.
went camping?
Last summer.
You?
Last summer. I mean, I don't count being in Zion's last week and having a hotel room as camping.
That's glamping?
That's not
not
even
even
glamping.
glamping.
That was in a hotel room for a few days.
I'm not an outdoor guy, and I hate to say it because I want to be. And I have this thing, I've said it here before. I have this thing where, like, the new year will come around, I'm like, you know, I got to do shit. Like, I got to do different stuff. Let's be outdoory. Let's be outdoory, Angel.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends was like, all right, copy that. And then they're like, you want to go camping? I'm like, oh, fuck that.
No, here's how you start. You just take a random Tuesday,
Okay.
just whenever, drive into the Uintas and go fishing. That's it.
See, I
Just-
don't fish either.
Just one.
But-
just
but I've
one
never
fish.
done it.
Just one fish.
I
That's
think,
all you need.
I think this is the start of a beautiful bromance.
Hey, you want to hang
You gotta
out?
take 'em.
You want to go?
Yeah,
You
you
want
wanna
to
go fishing?
You want to go Brokeback Mountain?
Oh my God, Riley, don't listen. Don't listen, Riley.
I can still hear you. No, that doesn't work.
Dude! Finally, you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Again.
I mean,
And that's the reason why
boys are
we're
back,
here.
baby.
That's the reason why we're here. You guys are finally selling dope.
finally. I mean, it makes way more money these days. Come on now.
I had to get a business license. So
No,
We only deal in cash.
I'm so excited about this because last time I heard you play was like back in the 80s. And now we're coming out with a new album, A Cell to Call Home, which
Yup.
I downloaded.
you listened to it now.
After
Yeah.
after the fiasco of the last time we got together, I'm like, ugh. I loved it, dude. Every single song's got a different meaning. And I'm not saying this because I have artists in the building because I hate that. I hate when they're like people that are like, here's my thing. There are a lot of artists that hit me up to just be on the show, right? My problem is this. I hate to be the classic interviewer per se. That's why I rather have people that I'm really interested in and friends, right?
Yeah,
because when I have somebody that's an artist and I don't know him, I hate to be like, so what inspires you to do this? You know what I mean? Like I hate that, man.
kind of bands were your, what was your
that.
inspiration for this song?
Yeah, I hate that. It drives me nuts. Like I can't. I can watch someone do that, but me doing it drives me crazy. When I was doing the Beehive with Justin is an MMA fanatic, right? So every now and then we will have fighters, and like obviously there's some fighters that we knew, so they were like our friends, but a couple of them it was like the first time we met them, and those like I mean, I pull my own, you know what I mean? Like I'll show presence, but at the same time I'm like they were so rough for me because again I don't want to be like, why fighting? You know what I mean? They were like, what? What are you talking about?
Who are you mad at?
Yeah. No, I hate that. But so I say this to say, I don't just say that because we're friends. I say that because I really love your guys' music. And every single person that I talk about you guys to, I'm like, I was just talking to someone like about this. I say, hey, on your way home, just jam him on your way home. And then if you don't like him, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
that's
just give it a
just give
try.
it a try.
Just give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you with this beer. Just give it one sip.
Yeah,
This is my car test.
Let it linger. You know.
Do you have to?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. That's why I looked directly at.
This is gonna be a thing all day. Isn't it?
I'm telling you, dude.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you. And then they asked me, okay, well, so what's your favorite song? And I go, it's hard. It's hard to point out.
You're obligated to say the name of your podcast right here.
I did say that, but that was the second one though. But that's because the first time that I heard you guys, and the first time I went, "Oh my God," was Justified. Right?
Oh yeah.
Now let me ask you this: you guys what 3-4 albums with this one? This one's your
This is the third full length.
the third.
Yeah.
Does it kind of suck? Is it boring to go back to the old songs?
Not when we haven't touched them in years.
No, honestly, like we're this show that we're doing next week.
Yeah.
We're playing the full new album, cover to cover.
All 37 songs of them.
all
Yep.
all 30
All 3 hours.
all 37 minutes. We walk off stage, we come back on, we do a little encore thing.
Nice.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
planning an
Damn
encore.
it.
We're
Sorry.
playing a few. I won't give it away yet. But We're playing a few songs from our earlier catalog
Okay.
as that encore, and we've done one rehearsal now. It was the first time since 2017 that we've pulled out any of these songs from Stagehound and Immured, and we did last Friday at my house. We pulled them out in rehearsal, and it felt good.
Really?
It
Felt
was
real good.
Awesome.
I guess that makes sense.
And especially because, like, as a drummer, you understand that, like, you record something when you're young,
Yeah,
and you
yeah, yeah.
really try to hit something sick, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't land. Now that you're a little bit
now
more
that you
practiced,
have more knowledge, then
Now
you're
you
like,
can
oh, now I
land
can.
that shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's this feeling that I've been experiencing lately where I will find
you have
an-
feelings.
Ooh, should you be telling us this?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying anymore.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stop me.
No, hold me back. I swear to God.
Can't stop a dick.
Oh my God.
So,
Yeah, see, I told you it's gonna happen when you guys walk out of here. It's gonna do the same thing.
I would like to talk now.
Okay, sorry.
There's this thing I've been experiencing lately. Stop smiling at me, Mike. I
You
can't.
said that already.
Oh man. So there's this thing I've been experiencing lately where I will I'll listen to an album or a song that I was in love with when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, and now I'm coming back to it a decade and a half later, and you feel that nostalgia for
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it takes you back
It
to
takes you to
being in
places.
high school
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I've never experienced that with my own music until last week,
okay.
where I was like playing the songs that we played
Like
from
you were a virgin.
Stagehound. I mean, well, some of them, yes.
It was funny you say that because I do have music that, as weird as it sounds, the song that what's the name of that song? It's by the Outfield. Josie's on his vacation far away.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
song
totally.
and I don't even know why, but that song takes me back to Mexico. Because the first time that I heard that song, I was in Mexico, and then my uncles used to jam like the 80s rock jams, like they have like the vinyls and stuff. So they would just jam it, and for some reason, and that is, I will say by far, that is my favorite 80s rock song.
That's such a good song.
Such a great song,
Such a good song, man.
and you can't go wrong with the electric drum set, dude. The one with the triangles.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, those awful looking things. Yeah.
Yep.
I went to Guitar Center. My stepdaughter she had a guitar that I think her dad gave her, and it's been just thrown there, no strings, no nothing. And she moved out of my ex-wife's, and she's like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "Sure." I know how to play. I'm not a guitarist, but I know how to play. I go, yeah, for sure. So then I was driving around. Before I go home, on Sunday, I was like, I'm gonna stop at Guitar Center. I want to see what's going on. Give me some strings. And I stop, and for some reason, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's kind of sad for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I remember to have the excitement of like, oh, I'm gonna buy me a cymbal, I'm gonna buy me some heads, I'm gonna buy me some, not those kind of heads.
Ayo.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I went in there and there's nobody there either. I was like, is this still the place to go?
I mean, sure. It's the thing about Guitar Center is that
they're open on Sundays.
That's a good point. That's the other thing.
Actually, that is a very good point. That's why you stopped.
Can I tell you something? Before we named the other side of the Beehive, open on Sunday was going to be one of the names for it, because we used to record Sundays.
Yeah.
I think there's some law against that in Utah, though.
Yeah, no recording on Sundays.
Yeah, no podcasting specifically.
No post on Sundays.
Yep. No post on Sundays. Oh, with the Harry Potter quote.
So, besides Sunday.
Okay. Honestly, you go.
Guitar Center exists everywhere. It's like a universal thing that you can find. I mean, at least in the U.S. and probably Canada. Anywhere you go, if you're in a major city, there's going to be a Guitar Center. And you know what they have.
Everywhere you go, I'll follow you down.
Oh, man. Yep, keep going. So like as a band, when you're on tour, when you're hitting all these markets across the country, if something goes wrong with a guitar amp, or if you break your guitar head, the headstock at a gig, and then you need to grab a new guitar, there's always going to be a Guitar Center. They're consistent, right? They're easy to find. That's pretty much it, though, for me, for my pull to Guitar Center, because it's like local music shops keep that magic for me. Like I walk in a local music shop and I still feel that like that enchantment of the place, that there's something going on there. Like it's where the scene lives.
Now, as a drummer, is Guitar Center? I mean, I know it's in the name, but is it focused on guitarists?
I mean, yes.
It's not the place to. Even before I stopped going, it wasn't like the meta of drums.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, so the best way I can describe a drummer going into Guitar Center is the Ron Swanson meme of him walking into Home Depot and getting asked, hey, can I help you? I know more than you. And just walking off. Like, that's how I feel. Like, not to be an asshole, I don't know how good they are, how knowledgeable they are. They might be like, the drumhead guru who knows exactly what head I might need for my kit. But no, I just feel like, I know more than you.
Yeah.
Just walk to my cymbals. Walk to my sticks.
I get it.
Yeah.
Although my I don't know if you know Mitch.
Probably.
He's the general manager there now.
Yeah.
And he's been a friend of mine forever. Even before he was just a drum department salesman. And he actually left and he came back and all of a sudden he's a manager, and I was like, Jesus.
Nice.
And he plays for a band called Bear the Wolf that I took his place at one point.
Nice.
And then that band split up, and then they came back, and nobody called me, but they called him. It's fine, dude.
No hard feelings. Nothing.
No hard feelings. So how does it feel? After so long, you guys are jamming the music, you guys are jamming the songs. How often are you guys practicing?
Once a week, leading up to the gig, which is a lot for us. We haven't practiced as Advent in 7 years, and even with our other bands, we'll do like one rehearsal before the really important gigs, and that's it. But for this album is a whole other level of complexity from anything we've ever tried before, and it really demanded a lot of attention to detail. Also, I wish Kaysen was here to explain how hard he has worked for this.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing that too.
But no, Kaysen has put literally hundreds of hours into this show, into getting the keyboard sounds just right, programming all of the changes. He's got this laptop that is literally running the show for us. This laptop has like an Ableton Live session in it. And he presses play on that session, and it's sending us a click track. It's sending out. There are like sound effects and stuff that are being sent out to the front of house mixing person that are being run by that. But not only that, it's also handling. His laptop handles all of the keyboard sounds, and it's in real time switching whether it's an organ or a piano or a synthesizer that his keyboard on stage is triggering. Yeah. And so it's like, it's handling all those triggers, and then it's also connected with my guitar foot pedal and Grant's guitar foot pedal and Kaysen's bass 6-foot pedals.
Oh, Jesus.
And it is using MIDI data to change guitar patches, to change the presets for the songs, to change the effects that are happening.
Wait, so you're not doing your own pedals
I
now?
don't have to touch my pedal board
Are you serious?
because Kaysen has figured out how to program the entire show for me.
If only.
It's insane. I can just play the parts and sing them and focus on how I'm performing and not focus on what my feet
it just
are
takes
doing.
something
the whole
away
show.
from
It's
the first time
amazing.
that whole system clicked, the practice was like show ready. It was perfect.
Was it weird though? To go from like
it's crazy.
all this stuff,
Because you're like,
Jesus.
I'll be playing like a beautiful, like clean guitar part, and then I don't have to push any buttons, and within one beat, I'm now to like a soaring, screaming lead guitar tone with like stereo effects and stuff. And it's a little bit mind bending. Like it took a couple of songs for me to stop like laughing with happiness. Like, it was so cool.
Let me ask you this: as a drummer, do you look forward to that kind of technology to little by little take over? I don't even know if it ever will, but I'm saying,
I mean,
because like what Riley's saying, you know, I still have to do my thing, but now technology has made it so I don't have to worry about this little thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was working, I was playing. I played for this band who had a little bit of a what is it, like a sound thing with buttons, and we had like a chain. It was a punk band. It was like a chainsaw and like a girl laughing or whatever. And I remember me thinking like, I just want to focus on this.
Yeah.
And now I'm like doing this, and I have to make sure I push the button right. And obviously everybody's jamming, and everybody's got their own thing going on. And now I have to worry about, we finished the song, boom, and then I have to click, push the button because it was the chainsaw stopping, right? That kind of took it away from me because I was like, well, this is not part of my instrument.
Yeah.
Like that takes away from me enjoying what I do.
Well, and I'm looking forward to whatever new technologies can happen because looking at like guitar and bass amp modeling software right now, it sounds incredible. But electronic drums still sound like ass.
Yeah.
Unless you're spending $1 bajillion, and even then they can't recreate the cymbal sound. What I love about the system that we use and the way that we do things is it allows me to focus way more on acoustic drums. That's it. Because drums are really expressive anyway. Like one drum can sound like a bunch of different things depending on how you tune it, how you mute it, whatever you want to do. So I don't know, having them being free to recreate all of the sounds that we recorded for the album just means that I don't have to worry about anything except for nailing my shit.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in the future, but I can't see anything replacing,
But you don't
wood
have
toms.
You don't have buttons, right?
No.
No. I mean, the only thing you have is the in-ears, right?
Yeah. I just have my
Is that
own.
what it's called? In-ears?
Yeah.
I played in the 70s, so I don't know.
Yeah, these guys.
There we go.
He wears them everywhere.
Actually, these
Those are the actual ones you play with?
No.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are in my bag.
Oh, okay.
He takes them everywhere. Do you ever have less than 2 pairs of headphones on?
No,
you
I
at any
usually have
time?
3.
Like you're wearing a pair of headphones over
No,
your ears.
that's right.
You've got
You're hanging
headphones
shit, that
draped
means I
around
have
your neck,
4.
And you've got
Yeah,
2
I got
pairs
4
in your
pairs
back.
now.
By the way, Angel, I'm taking these with me, just so you know.
Yeah, AKG, sponsor me.
When I was working in the field, I used to have headphones. They were obviously connected to my phone, and they were like the newer kind, the ones that do the, because it was construction, so I didn't want to drop them. They're expensive. My mother gave me a pair. I haven't even opened it. I was like, thanks, for like Christmas 2 years ago. I'm like, thanks.
Nice.
They're in like a storage unit. But I have those ugly ones just to, they hang and you just pick them up, put them on. Just because I was jamming music or podcasts when I was digging and stuff like that. I hate somebody. I'm not paying attention. It's cool. It's whatever. But the reason why I'm asking this is because, again, like I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that I've ever seen you worry about digital stuff. I mean, like.
As long as I can hear everything going on. Because, like, the best way to kind of put this into perspective is, the band Porcupine Tree? They are one of our favorite bands. And their drummer, Gavin Harrison, is one of the most, I'll say expressive again. He's one of the most expressive drummers you can ever hear. And he's only analog drums. Only real drums, real cymbals, all that. And the different sounds that he can make just playing progressive rock, progressive metal. Because now he's playing, like, touring with King Crimson, or he did. Now he's playing with a bunch of other people. But anyway, it doesn't matter what kind of music he's playing, whether it might be a little bit more electronic, it might be a little bit more just like really old school and raw. You can always tell that it's him on his drum kit.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, is your sound, your flavor, you know, your voice on the kit. It doesn't matter how it's happening. For me, it's just rock drums. But if technology comes out where E-drums are just as good as like an amp modeler, hell yeah, I'll adopt that, but I can't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, there's nothing better than
a
the
real
sound of
drum
fat
set.
drums just sitting.
I don't know though, man. I really look forward to the day when like
I don't need
Stage
Mike.
is quiet.
He's like,
When
when I
we
don't need
can-
Mike.
we can put your drum kit in a backpack.
Yeah,
dude, tour in a Toyota Prius.
Yo, that's the
Yeah,
only thing that
yeah,
sucks
yeah.
about being a drummer.
Yes, that
The
is.
only thing that
I
sucks.
say that every gig.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be packing up after a gig. I might have 1, 2 tree drinks. in
These
me.
assholes are done.
Yeah, and
in
I'm just
one
like,
trip.
I'm just like, I hate drums. I should have not been. I should have been a bassist. You know, like every gig. But it's while I'm playing, I'm just like, yo, this is my favorite.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
not
you
too
know.
late. You could be bass. We'll just throw
No, it's
Kaysen
way-
back on keyboard world.
it's way
You're a
too
bass
late.
player.
It's way too late.
Angel will play drums.
All right,
He's-
you'll play
He's got to
drums.
go to
Yeah.
E-Kit, right?
Yeah. Oh,
You-
yeah.
only if you've got an E-Kit.
E-kit?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Stage volume has to be negligible.
I have a friend. Not a friend. I know him. He knows me. And he throws his videos on Instagram or whatever, and he's jamming on a electrical drum set. Now the guy is learning how to play, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously you can tell. It's like, oh, okay, you're learning. But I hear that this sound, and it's like, it's just so fake. I
Yep.
hate it. No,
Okay.
it's
So
nice, and it's nice if you have a kid, you have a son. He's like, hey, I want to play drums. He's like, oh yeah, here's your
Put
electric
on some
drum set.
headphones. Yeah, exactly.
All I hear is this.
Yep. Okay, there is a drummer on YouTube, 66 Samus.
Oh, he's ridiculous.
He's done crazy stuff. He's worked with a bunch of big bands, tons of musicians. He's one of the best metal drummers alive right now,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And his at-home studio setup, when he does like drumming live streams or recording or whatever, is he has these really nice E-drums connected to his laptop with a bunch of different really, really high-quality drum sounds on them, and then real cymbals on top. So he has the best of both worlds. He can change up his drum sounds and his drum tuning on the fly, but he has just this wild array of the most beautiful minor cymbals you've ever seen, and it's a perfect blend of the two.
I mean, I guess there's people that went, and they're famous for having electrical drum sets, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
look at Def Leppard.
Or Alex Van Halen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love that because as a recording engineer, my biggest problem with drums is bleed, right? Like the snare always gets hi-hat in it, and every time you have a really big tom run, you tend to play the lower toms a little quieter than the upper toms, and the lower toms get a lot of cymbal bleed, but the higher toms don't get as much because of the relative volumes. That just fixes all those problems.
That's why he can
smart.
sit behind his drum kit, press record, and play anything. And it sounds good every time. Doesn't matter the genre or whatever.
Right.
That would be cool. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
But then it also, like, cymbals are also still loud as fuck. So, like, it doesn't really help the
It'd
stage
be really weird on
situation.
stage to have like
Oh my
live
god! You're
cymbals
like
and no
you're
live
right in the
drums.
front. You're right in the front of like this
Just-
massive show, and all you hear is
Yo, can you imagine
Oh
you
my
guys are
God.
jamming, you guys are at a gig, and you guys are playing, and then the power goes out, and all you hear is on his plastic.
Here's cymbals and the vocalist trying to scream over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
See, it doesn't fix the problem, but it's a cool workaround to the problem when you have a studio setup.
you've got the wheels turning in my head. I'm gonna figure out a way to incorporate this if we tour to get a hybrid. kit
Because
going on
again, like
stage.
you said, we could fit that in the bag.
could fit your whole setup in a bit. We could tour
No.
in my Volkswagen.
Because the biggest deal is how real the cymbals sound and feel.
Yep.
So just put some overheads on top.
Bam.
Fixes the problem.
Done.
No,
Okay,
it'll still
sold.
sound like shit in small venues. Like there's no question that'll actually sound
No
like
way.
ass. Now, large tours though, because we're on the up and up. We're gonna start selling out like Wembley
Oh yeah,
pretty soon.
Yeah,
Maybe Madison.
This gig is the beginning of it.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the up and up.
yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
You know, the drum world is our oyster to crack.
You guys call it a gig?
Yeah.
We call it so very many things.
Like what?
That shitty thing that we have to do next week.
That's the primary thing that it
Yeah.
gets called. In our
But I thought, because I feel like when there was people that started finding out that I was playing in a band, people started calling, "Oh, are you doing your concert?" And you go,
Yeah.
no, concerts are for high school
sweaty.
bands.
I'm at a gig. Yeah.
No. I'm in Liquid Joe's, not fucking USANA.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not USANA anymore, right?
Oh yeah, it's what
it
is it now?
not?
The Living
No,
Planet
it's-
Aquarium
it's-
Theater
It's
or something.
USANA.
It'll always
It's
be
still the
USANA.
Delta Center. It's still USANA.
Well, it is
Get
the
out.
Delta. Well, it is the
Oh
Delta
my god,
Center.
it is. Fuck. I'm not with it anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
The Maverick
things.
Center is the E Center, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's the Maverick Center. Actually, no, it is the Maverick Center. That's actually the only way I know it because I think I moved here right before it was called the Maverick Center.
Yeah, it would have changed. No, it was after that.
I
but
thought it was not recent, but like not that.
I mean, because
far out.
the only
honestly,
time
it
I
was
ever
around
went,
the same time the Delta Center changed.
because the only time I ever went to the Maverick Center was that Rush show.
Yeah.
That was the only time
Yo,
I've ever
oh,
been.
yeah,
there.
that
Yo,
wasn't that long
Delta
ago.
went from Delta Center to Energy Solutions, then
To
Vivint,
Vivint.
and then back to Delta.
Huh.
Why? Just get us all confused. And nobody stopped calling it the Delta Center.
I think it's amazing that
Even Google.
companies will spend so much money to change the name of a thing to get their branding on the side of the building,
Yeah.
but everybody just resents it and still calls it the old thing.
I know.
Oh,
Hey, your wife sings in this album.
She does.
yeah, a lot.
She has a great voice.
She does.
Correct.
She'll be there next week.
And who's your kid? The next fucking Andrea Bocelli?
Probably.
That'd be interesting. I mean, if you're talking about my daughter Cressa, she screams all day, every day. So I would say more like, I don't know, who's somebody that screams really
What's that girl
high.
from is it the Fly Lift? That girl? Isn't she a? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously I haven't.
She used to. I don't-
OTEP.
Yeah.
OTEP.
Yeah.
That chick can scream, right?
Yeah. Now, you guys are just like throwing out band names that I haven't heard in a very long time. And I'm like, wait, are they still alive? What happened?
My children will be musicians.
Yes.
Or singers. Or,
Well,
or maybe
first of
not.
all,
I don't know.
first of all, but all right, Mike, it was fun. Thank you. Thanks for coming. No, I think it's, you know what? I will say this. I'm going to add something to my list. A few years ago, I decided not to have kids. And I've said here before, the thing that I think it will suck is the fact that I never get to see like my kids. Like I would never be able to take my kid to like soccer, for example, or like jiu-jitsu or karate or whatever he wants to do, right? Or like drumming lessons, or not drumming because I can do that, right? But like any lessons, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think it would suck that I'm never gonna be able to have like my own kid is like, hey, I like to play music. And I go, okay. And then he becomes better than me, and then I disown him.
Oh my God, that's just a whole saga that you just went through.
I just went through my whole. and then, yeah.
Just lived it out, man.
So yeah, so.
Yeah.
I heard the album, right, and then I'm listening to this beautiful angelic voice on top of yours, and then I look at the title and it says it's got your last name, and I go, wait a minute, and I started putting two and two together, and I think you mentioned this on that radio thing you did last weekend,
Yeah.
and I'm like, 2 weekends ago, right? Doesn't matter.
That's something.
So I was like, so then I was like, oh, okay, so I was right. It's your wife. She sings in this. How long has he? Now, somebody that like her, she has this skill and this talent, but she doesn't do it.
So Kristen would be much happier just being a studio musician rather than a live performer. She's very self-conscious. It takes a lot to get her out in front of people, to get her to sing in front of anybody. So, so I've used her for years as a just kind of like on-call studio singer. Anytime I'm recording a song, if I write a vocal part that's higher than I can sing, I just say, hey, Kristen, come down here for a sec, and I have her sing it. And that happened with these 2 songs from this new album where there were vocal parts that my voice didn't want to sing, and so I had her sing on the demos. And we liked the demos enough that we said, yeah, that's just how it should be on the album. So it kind of made natural sense to include her on the album. But the problem is, now we're in this position where we have so many people knocking down our door about her voice. Like, literally every review that has ever been published of our new album says like glowing things about her voice. There's a lot of the reviews don't even mention my voice, or they say like lukewarm things.
We're used to that one.
He's fine. He's
every single review says great things about Kristen's voice, and then we have fans messaging us saying, "Hey, I see you guys have some shows coming up. Will Kristen be singing with you? That's the biggest thing I want, is to see her there. Like, I really want to see her
Now, is she
at these
popping
shows.
in for one, then getting out, then popping back in?
That's the hard thing, is because I go back to what I just said. She would be happier not singing on stages and just singing in the studio, but that doesn't exactly work. If you're gonna be a part, of an album, when that album goes on tour, you have to figure out a way to either have the band play the backing tracks, or
you just got a cold case and make her. Hey, can you put her voice on that thing?
We do have versions of the songs that have backing tracks. Like Kaysen already has that in his computer. Backing tracks for her voice for when we need it. But that's to answer your question. It's a little up in the air at the moment. We'll have her sing at this album release show, potentially some of the other local gigs, and potentially some of the traveling gigs. It really just depends on if things line up. If we can find a babysitter for our kids for her to come, that kind of thing. I think if we do an actual tour, it's very unlikely that she'll join at this point, because kids, it's not like...
Well, that's your fault, right? But
it's my fault. I did not... I should have
took that away from her, but whatever.
Taken a leaf out of your book.
So would you want your kids to take to have lessons, or just learn on their own? I mean, is that a...
I think so I'm never going to push my kids to do music, because everybody that I know that has pushed their kids have just walked, like, kind of...
Are they even
away.
like interested, or...
Oh yeah, for sure. They love music. I mean, they're constantly like they're obsessed with different songs that they find. Like, they just discovered Portugal the Man last week, and they're like, every day
I was
we
just
get in the
jamming
car
that on
and
my
they're
way
like,
here.
like, Dad, I want to listen to that Portugal the Man song. So like, they love music. They're very interested in it. Cressa has a little, like, I have a little travel size mini Martin guitar that I bought years ago before she was born, and I've just kind of like given that as her guitar that she keeps in her room. And every once in a while at 11 p.m., like, Kristen and I will be about to go to sleep, and then we hear like guitar strums coming from her room, and it's like, okay, she's trying.
She's all...
So yes, they're obviously both kids, both Cressa and Griffin. They are both definitely interested in music. I would be very proud if they got into music, but I'm not going to be the dad that pushes them. I think, honestly, this makes me a little sad to say, but I think it's very likely that they will both decide that they will both get very sick of music early on in life, because of how music obsessive both of their parents are.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case, but I think it's very possible that by the time they're 7, 8, 9 years old, they're gonna be like, nah, that's the lame thing that only old people do. Like, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
And it still does have that stigma, right? Like, if you're in your 40s, and
wouldn't be you,
and you're like, oh, I have a band. You like, instantly you go, or like, that's not like a pickup line for, you know what I mean?
The older you get, the worse it is.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, and this, I'm not joking. Having a podcast has kind of become that too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When I started hanging out with this girl, and one of the things that I said was, oh, I do this because we used to record on Fridays. I'm like, this is exactly how I played it. It's like, oh, Fridays I'm kind of, I can hang out, but it's got to be like on the later side of things, because I do this thing in downtown. And she was like, oh, okay. And like, she never asked, right? And then a couple of weeks went by, and then she's like, what is that thing that you do? Because it's every Friday. And then at one point you're like, oh, podcast. And like, I'm sorry, what?
Relationship.
I'm sorry, what? You have a band? No, podcast. It's just the same. It's equal. But it does have that stigma.
Yeah.
You know?
Which
sucks.
For me, before people understand what we do and how we do it,
Yeah.
the most common reaction for me being like, yeah, I'm a musician full time. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, sick. So what do you play? Drums. Oh, could you write me some beats?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God, my friend, he's like this really cool vocalist. Like he has all these really cool ideas. Maybe you could write some beats for him. I'm just like, bitch, you can't afford me.
Yeah.
There's no way you can afford me. Come on now.
I think you need to make a thing out of playing with all the SoundCloud rappers.
Dude, that would actually be sick. Just make all the $5.
Well, I will say this. One of the things that I'm planning on doing, and I haven't done it because it's not my home, and I don't want to set up just to break it down and move. But I want to do like covers just for me to play the music that I want and throw it on a YouTube channel or whatever. Totally. But I do have some hip hop friends, some rappers, artists, right? And I'm like, oh, it'll be cool, especially with the closest one, because again, I get tons of ass, but then I go, I just don't want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. But like the ones that I know, the ones that have become my friends, I would be like, I'm just gonna jam your music, or one of your songs. And I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be a really cool thing to start like a cover channel, like a YouTube cover channel, but where you only cover songs from like underground bands.
Yeah.
Be really cool.
I play some Advent Horizon.
Good luck. You can do it.
You
though.
better do
Actually,
it quick. We're not
What
going to
the
be
fuck does
underground.
the
You could actually pull it up. You could actually pull it up.
What does that even mean?
I can't even play my own parts. What are you talking about? What are you
dude?
talking about?
Has anybody tried to play? Have you? Good question. Have you guys in your practice or whatever you guys are hanging out? Is it just you, or there's all the people that come out and chill, or you guys just keep it at yourselves?
Usually just the band.
I just thought if you guys have that moment when like someone is jamming with you guys, one of your guys' songs.
Yeah.
No.
I know that there are some fans of ours who have messaged us before saying, "Hey, here's like a little video clip. There's a bass player in Spain who sent us some video clips earlier this year of him playing, I think it was Rain on Open Water, and I think it was Calling It Off, if I remember right. So like there are musicians who like our stuff and have picked out the parts and have like sent us videos of them playing it, but I wouldn't consider that on the same level as like a band covering an Advent Horizon song. That's
or even having other musicians sit in.
Yeah.
Because like, to answer your question, no, whenever it's band practice, it's boy time.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't sound good, but I hear you.
No.
Well,
it sounds good.
Well,
it's now Boy and Kristen time. I feel bad for her.
No, she's part of the boys now.
I guess so.
Yeah, she's. You know what? I will say this again. When I was married, my ex-wife she became part of the dudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And there was like, where's like especially with the guys at work. They're like, where's the wife? Because she would like call the other girls to sit with us. I mean, she was just.
I think we've got a pretty good dynamic with our group going, where like we've all been best buds for so long that all of our girls are also like really close.
That works.
So
that works.
We're just kind of a whole like unit now. We're
because
like
every one of you guys have
yes
significant other, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you the only one with kids?
Yes.
Oh,
well, Grant.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Technically, has a stepchild now.
Yeah. So last time we were here, we talked about you guys not wanting to play until everything was perfect. You're talking about lights, audio, the room. I've never been to this place, the Pearl on Main.
Did you ever play at the Circuit back in the day?
I don't think so. The only way, and I'm stupid when it comes to directions. The only way I want to find out is when I get there.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this used to be whatever.
It was when we first started playing, when Mike and I were 14, 15, 16, when we first started doing live shows, the Circuit was one of the go-to all ages venues. Mm-hmm. It was like the competitor to Kilby Court back then. And the Circuit went out of business in like 2008 or something.
Okay.
And then it became...
Well, it didn't go out of business. They refused to have hardcore shows anymore.
Oh.
So it was like a lot of hardcore bands were coming in and just thrashing the place. Yep. So they're like, no more hardcore. No more hard rock.
Oh, my dude.
No more music.
So much sense.
Yeah.
So I walked through the venue a couple weeks ago to check out the place, and there's all this like glass work everywhere, but it's all shards of glass. Everything is like, there's all these cool murals made out of shards of stained glass, and all the mirrors in the dressing rooms are all smashed to bits, and pieces of them are like glued up on the walls. That makes sense.
Yeah,
they took the destruction of that
tragedy
venue and turned it into an art piece. That's cool.
And I'm pretty sure that like it was the circuit because it was the comedy circuit.
Yeah.
And then so if they couldn't do comedy, they would do concerts. And then they were like, "Nah, we're not doing concerts anymore." And then then they were out, like you said, for a long time.
It became, eventually the building got sold and it became a theater for like musicals and stuff. And then that went out of business, and now it got purchased by a group of architects who needed an office for their architecture firm.
What?
And they were looking at real estate options in the area, and they found this building was listed as an office space because it's in the little downtown Main Street Dragon. It does have office space above the theater offices. So these architects saw the place, they toured it, and they were like, "We don't know anything about live concerts, but this seems like a good situation because we already need to buy a building.
Yeah. So
this is our architecture business will pay the rent essentially, and we can just use the building to throw live shows and work with promoters and stuff as needed." So it seems to me to be actually a really good reality that they've got a venue now that isn't, they're not so they're not in it for the money, so to speak. They're not trying to make enough money to like pay the rent and like also make money on top of it. They're just trying to make enough to at least make it not a waste of time for them to do it.
Yeah.
So it's cool because the place is kind of a blank canvas for us. You mentioned lights and sound. They allow us to bring in our own lighting rig, our own sound system, our own everything. All the production is ours for this show, and we have Danny Mayland, he's our sound and lighting engineer for our party band Shuffle. He is handling all of that. He's building out the whole production for us for this show. It's going to be really cool. He's got like a lighting show programmed to our music that's going to go along with the songs. You've seen our Floyd tribute before. Yeah. So it's the same guy that does all the lights for the Floyd tribute. He's doing this show.
I think the guy that I know, and not that I know him, but at one of your guys' gigs, we became friends on like Facebook or something. Is that what's his name? Jason?
Jason, yeah. Jason's a great guy. So Jason will be at the show too. Jason is working with Danny.
Oh, okay.
So Jason was our sound guy for a lot of years, and then he had to get a day job and make enough money to support a family. So he stopped being our sound guy for a while. At which point we started working with Danny. And but then Jason since then has kind of missed doing live shows with us, and so Jason he comes back. He comes on. We hire him on as as Danny's tech whenever Danny needs an extra hand for a gig. So yeah, Jason will be there. You'll get to be reunited long last with your old friend Jason.
So how does it work when it comes to the lighting? Are you guys involved in that, or you guys just give this guy?
I trust Danny. He's done a killer job with our Pink Floyd shows. Like every Floyd show that we've done, the lights have been way cooler than anything I could have dreamed up. So
he knows our music really well, and he knows us as musicians really well, and he knows his gear very well. Just let him handle it. Yeah, it'll be great.
Let him do it.
Just let him do his thing.
I think actually it might, Jason, as we've been sitting here, interestingly, Jason literally just texted me.
Oh my God.
Said, "Hey, do you guys have a back album set list for the 19th? I'm trying to figure out lighting as much as possible before we get there." Literally as we were talking, that text came in 2 minutes ago. So I guess Jason's running lights, I just learned.
Cool. Nice. I trust him less. No, I'm just joking. No.
Jason, if you listen to this, Mike's right. We trust you less.
Yeah. Yep.
Trust
you. He would agree with us. Actually, he would be like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep."
It's kind of hard to be so much involved into like something that you really like, especially like I can only do my own example, right? Drums. I love them. I love drums. I love watching people play. And here's the thing: even though there's something about every single person that plays the drums, it attracts me. Like I go, oh, I can't stop. I have to watch what this guy's doing. And like I say, even that guy that keeps jamming his videos on YouTube, the guy that is just learning. When a guy is learning, when a guy is trying, all of his rim shots are the same, right? All of his little rearrangements are the same. But for some reason, when I watch that video, I can't stop. I'm like, I know exactly what you're gonna do here. I know what you're gonna do here. I know the movements you're gonna do before the song even starts. He's got it. He throws his own flavor stuff, right? And I watch it and I go, I just for some reason I can't stop watching.
Yeah.
And it's weird because someone told me that picture I have there when I was a kid playing in the drums. I was around my early teenage years when I found out that was my uncle's drum set that he used to play in church. I learned in church. That's where I was playing. Like the first time that I played live for people, I played drums. And I was playing, and I have one of my cousins who went and took lessons. I had him in front of me, and the song will mellow down a little, and then he would do this to me, and that means I gotta do the rim shot, right? And then he would do this, and then when the song picks up, and then I would switch it. And then I started getting into it, and then I tried to hit. I don't know if I told you this story before, and I tried to hit the cymbal, and I missed. And as a new drummer, I let my fucking drumstick go.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like on stage at a church, and I hit my cousin used to play the guitar and sing, and I hit her right in the ass. I was just like, whoop, and I go, oh, and again because I was my first time, I couldn't just go keep the rhythm in one hand while I try to figure out the next one. I didn't have an extra pair, so I had to get up. Go get the drumstick, come back, and then just catch the beat, and then go right here.
Oh my god,
it was a train wreck, dude. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, but then obviously, that's just how you start. But
yeah,
but it's something about everybody, every single person that I go to. I'm not necessarily I wouldn't say necessarily. I hate metal music.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it. And there's like 57,000 local bands that do that. But again, I watch it and I go, even though I don't see me playing that ever. Like there's something that I can't just stop watching a drummer do. Like the drummer from Spasmatics, to me is like, oh, he's a little stud.
Yeah.
And I just watch him and again, they play the same set every time, every Saturday. And I know it by heart. But then I go, that guy's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy's good. Do you get the same thing? No? Okay. Shout out to all the drummers out there.
No,
Mike just shit on all of you guys.
No. Yes, no. There are drummers and types of drumming that I really enjoy watching. But I find myself listening to creative drums more instead of watching videos of people playing. Because I like to imagine how they would be playing something. I don't know. It's just a thing that I've always done. I've always been listening to music, and I only like listening to music. I mean, not only, but I like listening to music from drummer's perspective. So left to right, high tom to low tom, right? And I like to think of myself as just like watching what they're doing. And then that's actually how I learn how to play cover songs. Is by imagining how they're playing it. But then there's other types of drummers, just like really creative, really interesting drummers, really steezy drummers that I can't stop watching. Like Zach Grooves, another YouTube drummer. Doesn't play, he only does like jazz, fusion, really groovy shit like his name would suggest. And he just has the most creative way of coming out with cool beats, different sounds, like incredible stuff. That kind of stuff is really interesting for me to watch because it just gives me all of these new ideas. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that makes you want to like go back to your house and practice now. You know, I love that.
Yeah. You know who does that for me? Eric Moore. You know who Eric Moore is? I just had a friend send me a video of him jamming Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a bad motherfucker. Yeah. And a friend of mine sent it to me and he goes, "This guy good?" I'm like, "Eric Moore, dude? Are you shitting me right now?" Yeah, he's good. Like, are you serious? He loves wrestling, the WWE. I'm like, it's like if I told you, "Hey, you like wrestling? You know The Rock?" What are you talking
Heard
about?
of him, dude?
I will say this, dude. Somehow, some way, I watched I think it's gonna be embarrassing. 6 hours of WrestleMania this weekend.
Damn.
It wasn't like I was watching it live with all the homies, you know. Like I was just like, oh, let's start this. It was like days after, and then I watched it. I was like, I get to a point when I'm like, now I know why I stopped watching, right?
Because you just get that bug in you.
Yeah,
You're
like,
just like, what's gonna happen next?
no, but you know though,
Yeah.
you know, oh, this guy's gonna hit the chair or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not talk about that.
Danger of modern television, man. There's so much to see. There's like it is so hard to like turn something on and then just turn it off. You could find things that what was it at Brian's house that we were we spent like 3 hours just sitting on his
Oh my
couch for
God.
no reason watching roller derby videos.
No, it wasn't 3 hours. We were sitting watching. He just put on this like what was that channel that he put on originally?
I don't know.
It was like some like old groovy shit, and people are just like walking in lines and then like doing dance moves.
What's that show from the 70s that was on? It was really big on the 70s, or in the 70s, and it was where there would be like a group of people partying and getting down to their disco music, and then there's a line of people that like one
Soul
at a time.
Train?
Soul Train.
Soul Train.
We watched.
That's what it was.
We started with Soul Train.
Yeah, we
for,
started
like,
watching Soul
45
Train.
minutes.
We started watching Soul Train, and then our friend Brian was like,
I can't believe I got that though.
no, that was so sick, dude. That was so good. So we started watching Soul Train. Then after a bit of that, he was like, I gotta show you guys something. And he puts on this like, just like this roller skating rink with people
yeah.
just like with teams,
Yeah.
just doing their shit. And we were just like sitting there.
It was fascinating.
Yes.
Those guys are crazy.
Never
It's
would I
nuts.
ever have chosen to watch that, but it was genuinely enjoyable.
Yeah.
Have you seen the old dudes? They come out and they're like,
Oh yeah.
and they're like, they're like the movements match and everything. You're like, holy shit, dude! How long have you guys been doing that for?
And it looks so seamless.
Yeah.
So smooth.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
They're not even
That's
skipping
good
a
shit.
beat.
Yep.
Well, I'm fascinated about this April 19th. What can I expect? I know we're playing the whole album. And the music's, I mean, not the music, it's the lighting is going to be there.
Yep.
All the effects.
Yup.
The smoke machine.
Oh yeah.
The,
There's like 3.
The cocaine in the green room. But is there anything, I mean, obviously we're coming out with a new album that sorry guys.
Now you're part of the band. Remember, 2 drummers.
2 drummers, 1 cup.
Oh God, no.
But obviously I besides
Sorry. Brings a different meaning to in the pocket.
Oh God damn it! All right, no talking. Yes, continue.
obviously I've been following you guys for a while, right? So I know exactly how you guys get down, how you guys do this. I'm expecting this to be a completely different show. I'm excited for it, but without giving it away, what can you tell us?
Well, as somebody who's seen us before in our much more raw state, we would let loose a lot more. I think we're a little bit more controlled, a little bit more reined in. But we also have a lot of room to fuck around, if you know what I mean. So we're, for the first time ever, we're playing with a structure. You know, we're playing with, like we were talking about, at this moment in this song, these sounds change.
Yeah.
So the whole band has to be on it. So we're going to be more focused, but at the same time, it allows us more room to be expressive with the music that we've already recorded. Because like with our older music, especially like an old ass song like Justified, we'd play it differently every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time, especially as the years went on and we played it more and more and more, it just had a different flavor to it. Whereas this is the first time we're actually playing like a concert.
Okay.
It's going to sound really good. It's going to sound really, really good.
I think that we've taken a lot of lessons away from all of the time that we've spent playing in cover bands and party bands and stuff. Learning how to be performers and not just artists up on a stage, right? I would say that the Pink Floyd thing is probably the most applicable in that to what we're doing here. Because Pink Floyd it's not like it's not like it's party music, right? It's not like you're
Yeah.
jumping down into the crowd and doing a screaming guitar solo and, you know, rolling around on your back. It's very scenic, picturesque, epic music. And that is kind of how our new album plays out. It's very epic. It's very grand in the scale of it. And because of that, it demanded a live show that is more that really plays into that grandness, which is why like we insisted on having control over our lighting and over the sound effects and all that kind of stuff, because we really want to recreate what we did on the album. And these recent practices that we've done have been really cool to me. Like, I recorded our practice last week and just pulled all the raw tracks into Pro Tools from our practice session, and listening to it, it sounds indistinguishable from the album in a lot of places. There are places where it does sound a little different because we've made some minor changes, but there are a lot of points where you can just close your eyes and listen and you think you're just hearing the album, but that's going to be cool because on stage you're going to feel the energy of the band coming from that stage, but with the quality of sound from the album. It's exciting to all of us and hopefully to the audience as well.
Yep.
Would you say that I mean, you kind of touched a little bit on it there. Would you say that playing on the other bands helps you in your performance on this band?
100%.
Yeah.
Because, like, right, going back to being an entertainment band, you have to play the song.
Yeah.
You know, we give ourselves licenses to kind of, like, throw out audibles, especially on, like, a quieter place. Like, Rylee can be like, all right, quiet down, everybody. I got some words to say. And we're kind of, like, jamming in the background, right? But there's always a structure.
Yeah.
And that was a new thing for me as just, like, the wild and crazy prog rock drummer that I was, you know, having to, like, really condense everything down to a structure, and you have to play within that structure. But then it gives me a chance to play, again, within that structure, as long as I'm sticking with it. So playing in a lot of cover bands, playing a lot of entertainment bands over the last few years has really helped me really figure that out. Like, when we're playing to a click track and everything has to be on the dot all the time, I still have those small moments where I can be myself 100% of the time, you know? It's just in smaller increments, I would say.
Yeah. You guys are going to Chicago, too.
Yeah, I forgot about that
Got a Chicago gig
until you
coming up.
texted me the other day.
So
and
is
then I
this-
never texted you back.
That's right.
Yeah.
So is this as Advent?
Yeah.
It's an Advent Horizon show. There's a promoter in Chicago who reached out to us about 6 months ago. Shortly after they discovered the album, this promoter said, hey, I love your music. I've been listening to it nonstop for a few weeks. I don't know if this is in the cards, but just wanted to throw this out. If you're ever going to be in the area, I would love to host a show for you in Chicago, and I'll promote it and get other bands on the bill and stuff. So I kind of just messaged him back at the time and said, yeah, that's great. And in my mind, I'm going, who knows if that's ever going to materialize. But we, once a year, as it's the 4 Advent Horizon dudes, but we don't play as Advent Horizon. Once a year, we go to a place called Deadwood in South Dakota. And we play for a week at a place called the Number 10 Saloon, which, if you're familiar with Old West history, the Number 10 Saloon in Deadwood is the room where Wild Bill Hickok was shot and killed. So if you've heard, like in poker, have you heard of the dead man's hand?
Yeah.
That's the room where that saying came from. That's like 5 feet away from the stage that we play on. So we play for a week in this really cool, historic, old-timey Old West bar, and they pack the place in. It's awesome. It's a great time. We get to stay in a house in the Black Hills up in the forest, just the 4 of us for a week, and play Dungeons and Dragons and make steak. It's great.
It's a really good
So
time.
it's our band vacation once a year that we get to go to the Black Hills. But I was looking at it going, you know what? The Black Hills, Deadwood.
It's only another
is-
day of driving.
Well, it's more than halfway to Chicago
Yeah,
from
that's
where
true.
we are currently. And so I'm thinking, let's just do it. Let's just set up a Chicago gig. It's some extra driving for us for sure, but I know we have fans in Chicago. There's also a record label / radio station in Chicago that loves us and has had us on for some interviews this last year and has played our music a lot, and so they're helping to promote it too. Like, I know we have some people interested in Chicago, so it felt fun. Yeah. It's maybe a little spontaneous and crazy that we're doing this.
But that's the cool thing, because we haven't done this kind of shit in a long time.
Yeah.
As an original band, we haven't. And so it's really cool to, like, every so often, a few times a week, Rylee texting the whole group. He's like, "Hey, we have people out here that want to book a show. How are we feeling?" And it's for Advent, not for, like, a cover band.
Yeah.
That's a cool place to be, because we haven't been there, like I said, in a while.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
We've got, and that's the Chicago one's not the only one. We've got other irons in the fire that I can't announce yet, haven't announced yet, but there's other gigs in multiple other sections of the country that are currently in the works, getting, we're
I said at the beginning, we're on the up and up. We're about to get super famous as a progressive rock band. Wow.
You're like, started at the bottom, now we're here. Is that what you're saying?
Just basically.
At the top of the lowliest genre on earth.
The least money-making genre on the planet.
How does it work when you, like, if there's more irons in the fire, is that because you announce that you'll be in Chicago and then all the people around the area, they're like, "Oh, how about you guys come here?"
There's a little bit of that.
Okay.
Now with the Chicago one, no, because we don't have time around, because we got to be in Deadwood like 2 days after the Chicago show, and we don't have time to go before that. So Chicago one, no, but there are other gigs that are working out right now. There's one, I can't say where, but on the East Coast, that if it happens, it'll be in October. And if it happens, we're going to, if this one gig lines up, then I have a cluster of other gigs around it that will fall into place with it.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like waiting for one domino to push the other dominoes over, right?
I know, it's exciting.
I know, I'm excited. I'm not even going.
Now, to be completely clear here, none of us is going to make a penny off of any of that.
No, I bet.
There's no money in touring, at least as a progressive rock band. But we love the crap out of what we're doing.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: out of things have changed, right? At this point, there's no need of having someone like in the old times where they're like, "Hey, we played at this gig and there was a producer and all of a sudden they fell in love with us and now we're famous," right? There's no need for that. Now the artist is, I would say, obviously I haven't been in the business for a long time. I would say nowadays the artist is expected to do his own work, to do his own recordings, so he goes out there on his own or band and says, "This is who we are." Now you have something to show, right? That's your blood, sweat, and tears into something you put together yourself. Nowadays, and at the level that you guys are at, what would it mean? Or do you guys have that mentality of the thought of saying, like, when we make it? Is that even a thing nowadays? Do you guys go, "Oh, when we get there"? Or, I mean, what is there? What is making it?
So for me,
what's the ultimate thing for Advent?
For me, the definition of quote unquote making it would be if we get to the point where we have enough fans in concentration in different markets all over the world that we can play any city in the world and have enough people show up to make it worth our while to go to that city. And there's a lot we've got to do to get there. We're nowhere close to that yet. We've got like little clusters of fans here and there, but nowhere near enough to do an actual tour.
And by make it worth our while, it's just monetarily. Because we would love to have a rich benefactor come out of nowhere and just be like, tour. And I would say, yes, bye, honey, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'll be back in 3 months. I would love that, you know?
Yeah.
To me, that would be making it. Doing what I love all the time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I already kind of do that. Rylee already kind of does that.
Yeah.
We made our lives in such a way where we can do what we love and be
You don't have a regular job?
Oh, not really.
He does from November to April every year.
Yeah, ski season job.
Okay. But you, for example, obviously I know you guys in Kazan more than I know
Grantosaurus Rex.
Grant, yes.
Grantosaurus.
Throwback.
But like I know you because obviously we're friends on social media, so I see that if you're not doing the Pink Floyd, you're doing the Advent, or you're doing the Shuffle, or you're doing the solo stuff. So you are busy doing music. Is that your main gig at this point?
Financially, no.
Okay.
Time-wise, yes.
Okay. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why the question of what does it mean to make it? Because like I say, I haven't been in the industry for a long time, so I don't. I mean, even when I left, it was that. We were at that point where like, oh, we don't need someone to come and give us a bunch of money and sign us. Mm-hmm. That's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like,
because signing doesn't give you a check anymore.
yeah, exactly. But like, and that's why my question of like, how is it nowadays? Obviously, we have the technology, right? People downloading the music. Now, does downloading the music, does that take you somewhere? Does that open more doors?
It does, but in a very roundabout way.
Okay.
Like as like if our music started blowing up like crazy and we were getting 500,000 plays per song, people would notice us. But that just means as a band, what are we doing outside of that?
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole new type of presence you have to have in order for an original band to make it. Because like I said, there's no more just like record label, I like your sound, kid. Here's a blank check. Go make a hit record. You know?
Yeah.
There's like you said, the artist has to do a lot of the heavy lifting themselves. So you have to have everything, all your ducks in a row. Because we've talked about this in the past where we've had some songs with other bands go really far, get picked up on like big Spotify playlists, massive plays, and people are like, okay, interesting. What else do you have? What else are you doing?
Yeah.
If it's not a lot, see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that labels these days, really what it comes down to is that they are by necessity a lot more cautious these days. They can't afford to take as big of risks as they could back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Back then, they would sign on 30 bands in the hopes that one band actually made it and like really broke through, and they would be okay with losing money on 29 of those bands as long as the one became the next Michael Jackson or whatever. At least that's my perception of how labels used to treat things. But these days, it's not that way anymore.
Look at the 90s. It literally was that way.
Yeah,
who can be the next Nirvana? We'll just throw all this money at you. That's why you had all those one-hit wonders coming out in like 94, 95.
But now labels are looking at bands as you have to prove yourselves to us.
Yeah.
And not just us as the label, but to the world.
Yeah.
You have to have traction. You've got to have huge streams, but not just that. You've got to have sales. You've got to have people buying your merch. You've got to be getting on tours, opening for other big bands, and, and doing well.
I should have just let you talk and instead of just me ramble, because you just said everything that I said, but way better.
No. Honestly, it was listening to you that formed all of this in my mind.
Because I was just like, bleh, and you're like, actually.
You just
That's the difference between beer and water, dude.
Yeah.
So I think, but I think this plays into a lot of what's different about the music world now. It's that the bands that succeed are not necessarily the ones with real talent these days, and sometimes they are. There are exceptions. There are some incredibly talented bands that get huge these days, but the rule for getting famous isn't are you talented, it's are you smart? Are you good at being a business person, at running your band effectively, at branding yourself?
But that's also talent.
That's not music.
But it's not necessarily related to the music
now.
or the talent.
So you have to be a savvy enough business manager now to get your band successful, because a label's not going to do that for you anymore. Whereas 30 years ago, it didn't matter if you were the worst business person in the world. If you were talented enough to get a label's interest, the label would just step in and make you successful on the business side. But you've got to be both now. You've got to be smart, you've got to be business savvy, but you've also got to be a good musician, a good songwriter, know how to make good music that people want to hear. So the bar for entry is a lot higher now for getting huge, I think, than it used to be. But in a weird way, the access to being heard by people is so much That bar is so much lower because anybody can put their music on Spotify now. So we just live in a weird time, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to be an artist and to know, like, to wake up every morning and think, like, what is the next step in my journey towards world domination as a musician? It's not always cut and dry what you should be doing every day.
I got a story for you. I one of my friends, shout out to Dre. I haven't said his name in a while. I'll just say every single episode. He had a rapper named Schaefer in his podcast for the first time. He called me one time and he goes, "Hey, you wanna interview this guy with me?" And I'm all about podcasting and hanging out and just knowing about people. I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." So then I sat there and he was talking and we interviewed him and stuff. And he has a song. It's my favorite song of his called Salted, I think it is, and it's rap, but it's like very fast. And he's got like 4 guys singing with him, like featuring with him, and they're like it's a fast rapping song, right? This guy is a hunter. He's a firefighter. He's kind of a different style or look than a regular rapper, right?
Yeah.
Long story short, makes a song about Cam Hanes. I don't know if you guys know who Cam Hanes is. I think he's a famous bow hunter. I don't know about hunting, so don't kill me for that. Cam Hanes is good friends with Joe Rogan. So Schaefer made a song about Cam Hanes, right? Cam Hanes goes to Rogan. And something like in the lines of, "Oh, it's on my website, look it up," and then they put the website on the thing, and his song starts blasting. Joe Rogan goes, "The fuck is that?" And he goes, "That's my song, from a guy in Utah named Schaefer."
Huh.
That's massive. That's massive.
The biggest platform ever.
Yep.
And I mean, he's not my friend. I know him. I've talked to him before, but they play his song in the Joe Rogan.
Wow.
And Joe Rogan not only asked questions that day, but then he brought it up the next day, because then the song went from whatever number it was to number 5 on the hip hop list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah.
And so I say that just to say that's that part, right? When you go, I gotta worry about, and this guy is doing his own videos too. I mean, you guys are doing your own videos, right? You guys are paying for it. I that's what I meant. Videos, your album, your obviously your own music, you're writing, you're doing your own gigs, you're doing your own traveling, you're doing everything is under your expense, right? And then there's that part, like after you do this, you get to have this luck, because it's luck, right?
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, your fucking song has been playing in the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah. You can never discount the power of luck, right? Like you can work your butt off for decades and slowly grind away and get slightly bigger every year, and to the point where after 20 years maybe you've got a decent following and you can finally tour around the country and like be successful at it. Or you could do it for 1 year and get lucky, and suddenly you have the one song that takes off and gets huge, and you've got the same success overnight.
But going back to what I tried to say, and you actually said, is doing
better.
Yes, what he said better.
Thank you.
Was doing the proper legwork.
Yeah.
In order to potentially get lucky.
Yeah.
Because you can do the legwork, you can do everything you need to do to be a successful musician, and then one day could happen like that.
Yeah.
And now you have everything else situated. All of your merch is done, all of your albums are done, everything's done for them. So now all you have to do is go off, play big shows.
How long? I want to say, I think I threw a number out there when I was talking about you guys. It's been, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 years since you guys did something with Advent?
Yeah,
An album?
2017 was the last EP that we put out.
Yeah, the last album was 2015, right?
So that's 9 years since the last album, 7 years since the last EP.
Now, here's the question. Is it necessary for you guys to wait that long for the next one?
No.
Hell
no.
no.
Okay.
No.
The next album is already over half written.
Perfect.
Yeah,
a lot of things happened in order to kick the can down the road.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure I brought this up the last time we were here, but I recorded the drums for this album more than 3 years ago.
More than 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago now. Yeah.
Well, almost four next month.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
So the drums were recorded well before the album came out. And that was only one of the things that kept kicking the can down the road.
How do you guys deal with that anticipation of like, let's just get it done? I'm like, or like, are you for example saying that, hey, my shit's done, hurry the fuck up.
No, that was
it's got to be
a long
especially
time of
hard
that.
for Mike because like
especially now I want to re-record my parts.
I know, we get to the end of all the production and everything. The album's mixed. It's like basically ready to submit to the final mastering and Spotify and everything. And then Mike calls me and he's like, hey, like, how hard would it be really to re-record this stuff? And I shut him down. I'm like, nope, you're not doing that.
Well, because it was the worst because I got to sit on these drum sessions for a few years. And then once we started building on top of them, layer after layer after layer, the song starts to come together.
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing my drum parts in a different light. Now I'm hearing the whole picture. What do I want? I want to fit into that picture a little bit better. And Riley's like, no. So
You stay in the back.
You're done, mister. So now all we can do is look forward. Nice. And like Rylee just said, our next album is halfway written.
But you can always put a different flavor when you're live.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm planning on doing next week.
I was talking to, who was I talking to? I want to say it was a few years back. And I was talking to, when we had the Beehive, and I was talking to Justin, and I said, when you like a band, when that's your band, like, or you're one of your favorite bands, and you go see them live, do you want to hear the exact same thing that's on the album, or do you want to hear something good? Like,
yeah,
right.
As drummers, we know where the hit's gonna be. But if instead of that hit, you do a different hit, then we go, oh yeah. Like, at least my opinion, I go, fuck yeah. Like, this is live, right? I never saw them live, but I heard them live. Linkin Park. Yeah. It's the exact same thing that's on the audio. Yeah. It's on the album. Sure. And then I go, I mean, yeah, but it just doesn't give me anything new.
Yeah. Well, I'm in two camps on this particular not even issue, but it's just this thought. Because, like, on the one hand, I'm thinking about some of my favorite drummers that I've ever seen live, like Blake Richardson from Between the Buried and Me. His parts are so crazy, so complex, so difficult. If he fucks up, everybody knows.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a lot of wiggle room, you know, so his parts are very specific. Yeah. So seeing him play live, I want to hear that one drum fill. I want to hear the one thing he does, you know, or all these things that he does, because it's so sick. On the other hand, when you have, like, I don't know, literally anybody else, like the Deer Hunter, for instance, having the Deer Hunter drummer just, like, go off on a song where on the record he's a lot more quiet, a lot more reserved, and then live he's, like, really digging in and just playing a completely different song. That's sick, too. I don't know. It just depends on the show.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess I'm a little bit mixed as well, because for me, I like a lot of bands. But first,
it sounded like you just learned English. I like a lot of bands.
Have you heard of these things called
end
bands?
credits?
Guys aren't very nice to me today.
I'm sorry.
Why did we bust his balls last time? I'm a father. Leave me alone. I'm tired.
I'm the one who had a couple beers already. Come on, now.
More than any other band, I like Rush. Rush is my addiction, right? They're the band that introduced me to bands.
Fair.
When you go to a Rush show, you're not expecting to hear a different thing than the album. You're expecting to see like 6,000 middle-aged dudes air drumming along to every single Neil Peart drum fill.
But again, as a drummer, I know I'm watching it. I mean, I got to see him, so I got to watch a legend. But I also went, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly the same.
It is. But the show
personally
is
enjoyed
different.
that.
And the thing about the Rush shows is every time we've seen them, and we've seen them a few times, every time you see them play the same song, they have a different thing going on. They have different visuals. They have different on-stage gags that they do, little skits that they might do. They might have somebody come out with a big rotisserie chicken oven and start basting chicken.
Nice.
You know, like just like silly shit like that. While the music might be the same, the show is different. The experience is different.
Now, stupid question. Are they planning on being a thing still? Or?
No, they're not. There was some rumors about it about a year ago, but
Yeah.
Getty pretty much shut down those rumors and said, nah, we're done. Which, I mean, I think Getty and Alex will probably both do other musical things, but
Yeah.
I don't expect to see Rush.
No.
reunite.
Yeah.
No, Rush is the one band that they cannot do a reunion. I felt this way about Alice in Chains, but it's even more so with Rush.
Yeah.
You cannot do Rush better than Neil Peart could do Rush.
And let me ask you a shitty question.
Okay.
At this point, Advent Horizon, the four of you guys, one is not here anymore. Not to be like passes away or not that shit, but just say, hey, can't be in the band anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How does that? I mean, I don't want to say affect because it's a stupid question, but like how do you guys process that? How do you guys take your time? Do you guys have someone that is already and like, oh, that guy will be good or whatever? Because I said this the last time too. When you guys lost Benny,
Yeah.
Benny,
Benito.
I felt like, and this is not disrespect to him. This is just how I see music, right? I see like you found Grant, and it's like for me as a consumer, there was never this. It was just
It's consistent.
see what I'm saying?
I can tell you this. With a surety.
Yeah.
If any of us, minus Rylee, leaves the band, dies, whatever, Riley's going to keep playing music. He's going to keep releasing stuff. It's just our little flavors affecting what Riley's writing.
Yeah.
Now, if we decide to kick Rylee out of the band because we can't stand him anymore, the band's going to be very, very
No rise, son. No rise.
No,
rise.
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop it! No! So we can't
Drinking whiskey and rye, thinking this is the band.
Full circle. No, but I can't imagine this band without any of us at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
But especially Rylee. The rest of us we're fine. Or
Honestly,
whatever.
I'm to the point where if Kaysen quits, I'm just calling it quits with the band. There's no way this band.
You're just calling that off.
Yeah.
I am
I mean,
lost.
at this point, especially with this album, because before this album, we were just kind of, we didn't know what we were.
Yeah.
This album brought all of our strengths, our individual strengths together into a single project. And I don't think this could have been done. This album could have been done without any one of us.
Except Grant.
I was gonna be a nice person.
You were gonna
I was
say
gonna
it.
be a nice person. I wasn't gonna say anything, and you just. I was gonna no. If Grant wasn't in it, then he wouldn't
Actually,
have had two vocal parts.
No,
missing, but-
let me go back on that because without Grant, the album would not have sounded nearly as good.
True.
Grant's primary job with the process of recording and releasing this album was listening to my shitty early mixes and how bad they sounded and going through them with a fine-tooth comb and making me notes on like the kick drum needs you to
That's
cut
true.
6 decibels at
So the only
600
reason my
hertz
drums
and-
sound good at all, because we didn't have any idea what we were doing when we recorded drums. The only reason that they sound good at all is because Grant came in and he was like, "You guys are so stupid."
Grant took our the first song we mixed was Calling It Off, and he listened to that
Nice.
mix and he was like, yeah, this isn't great. he spent like 6 hours with me in the studio just going through one piece at a time out of a 120 track mix, and helping show me what he thought. Because Grant, I don't know if you're aware of this, Grant went to school for audio production. He has a degree in audio engineering.
I was going to ask you, how did he come? Go ahead, finish.
And so he has a lot of knowledge. Like, I have a really good ear, but I have absolutely zero education. I've never gone through any training courses on how to engineer things properly. My only knowledge comes from the limited experience that I've gained. But Grant can come in and listen to the production decisions that I've made, which are good production decisions, but were mixed poorly, and he can tell me how to mix them to where they sound how they're supposed to. So he helped me mix Calling It Off to where it sounded good, and then I went through all the rest of the songs on the album, and I did all the mixes myself, but using all of his advice from the Calling It Off mix. So had it not been for Grant, we probably would have given up on mixing this album and sent it out to get it mixed by someone else. I would have.
Because you were the one doing all the legwork here. You would have called me up. You're like, hey, we need to spend like $7,000 to have this album mixed.
And you would have been like, cool,
good luck, brother. Like, I'm a poor musician.
So where did he come from? How do you guys know him?
Ooh, so this is my favorite story. Grant and Kaysen.
Mike's like, we used to date.
Oh my God. We used to be an item. No, Grant and Kaysen were in a band in high school called Sons of Autumn.
Oh, wait, I think you mentioned this last time.
I think we told this story.
They played Rush. Time. You guys played Rush.
And we kicked their asses.
They kicked their asses.
And then Kaysen and I became
good
friends.
To put them in your place, because they're not here, so fuck you.
No, yeah, fuck you guys. You didn't show up looking at houses. But yeah, we beat them. We became friends. Then Kaysen joined the band when Sam didn't work out. And then Grant went on a mission. He came back, and we needed a live sound guy. And that was right around the time where Benny was on the way out. And since Grant was already here, he was like, hey guys, I could play guitar. And we're like, oh yeah, can you? Yeah. Can you though?
It was mostly his vocal abilities.
It was, because you didn't want to sing for 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, not to take credit away from you, because we were talking about your wife singing, but like your vocals and your flaws, like especially the last note when you go, I was like,
that was one of those magic takes.
What the fuck
where
is that?
I was in the studio and I sang
I was like, why am I wet?
I shouldn't be moist.
I finished singing that take and I pressed the space bar and I went, well, I'm never going to do that again, but it worked. We got the one that counted.
And he has never done it again.
Nope. I will not be doing that live. There's a lot of that on this album, but honestly, even more on Stagehound. Like, if you really pay attention to the vocals on Stagehound, there was actually one of the reviews that came in recently for our new album, something that it said in the review, like, really hit me and kind of made me, like, rethink my life a little bit.
Oh, wow.
It said, after listening to Advent Horizon's previous albums, it is clear that that Rylee McDonald has less to prove vocally now than he did on Stagehound. And I was like, whoa, I hadn't thought about that before, but you're right. Listening back to Stagehound, I was trying so hard to be like, listen to me, I can be Geddy Lee for a minute.
Yeah.
And I can't. And I've realized that. I've realized the limitations of my voice, and I've been trying really hard to only work with the things my voice is good at and not push myself to do things that I can't.
Well, I think the best way to distill this was Stagehound, we were all trying to prove something.
Yeah,
for sure.
With A Cell to Call Home, it was more to like, how do we get our ideas to blend, to mesh together, to form a song? Like, none of us were looking for an excuse to show off, even though we do quite often. That wasn't the purpose. There was a few songs that we've written in the past that the purpose was to show off because we wanted to be Rush.
Magic Chef.
Magic Chef.
By the way, Magic Chef could have been. Remember you and I talk about this?
Oh, yeah.
That was going to be, at the beginning of this show, Magic Chef was going to be the song for this.
Oh, no.
Yep. And Mr. Rylee here, oh, Rylee. Oh, master.
Auto parts.
Ow! That was a cow. But he was like, hey, you could have this because there's no vocals, there's no nothing. And I've said this story here before, but I said, oh yeah, it's perfect because it's an upbeat song and it's like, oh yeah, there's the guitars, there's the drums, and it was like, yeah, I like it. But then the new album came out, obviously, right? And then I'm like, I mean, it was out by then, but I started jamming it, and then I went, kind of like this song, And I went to Rylee and I said, dude, feel free to spit on my face if this is not a possibility. What if I call my show, How Did He Get So Good? And I think I told you, and I think you know where I'm going with it. And he was like, let's do it. This sounds perfect.
Down.
So, yeah. And I used both parts of our like on our intro and our outro. The intro is the first part before you guys start singing, and then the last one is like when I do the clips on the Instagram. Like as soon as we're like, ha ha ha, we're finishing laughing, and, and then it's like, how did they get so good? Yeah, with the name coming out. I mean, it's
okay. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
Oops, sorry, yeah.
Butter me up a little bit more.
So, Chicago when?
May 18th.
Okay, so that's basically right after this. I was gonna ask you what's right after this.
It's just shy of a month.
Yep.
And then we also have another show here in Salt Lake on May 1st that is at Metro, just a couple doors down here, opening for our old friends Idola. Have you ever seen Idola?
I don't think so.
They were around when you were jamming, when you were playing local gigs a lot. But they were in Provo back then.
That sounds so demeaning. They were around when you were trying to do something.
Well, you guys have roasted me on way too many occasions on this show. I had to get back.
Okay. I'll accept your roasting.
You're next, Mike.
Okay.
So Idola they're like a little bit proggy, a little bit math rocky, a little bit post-hardcore, a little bit emo. They're kind of like equal parts all of those things.
It's all my last girlfriends together. Just kidding.
But they're incredible.
They're really great.
My girlfriends?
Good. Yes.
Oh.
Not
Yeah, that's
Idola.
what Mike's talking about. But we played several shows with them back in like 2013, 14, 15, somewhere around there. We played Velour with them. We played Muse Music down in Provo with them. We did a show at the Loading Dock, if you remember that place. With them. But since then, we stopped playing music and they kept playing music, and they just took off. And they're now like at the top of their game. Like they just did like an Australian tour a couple months ago.
Yeah.
They tour
Suck
Europe
on that,
every
Rylee.
year.
That's what I'm saying.
They-
Why did he? No,
They're
never-
touring
I'm not
with,
going
if
there.
you know the band Periphery, they're touring with Periphery in May.
Yeah.
So they're like doing great.
So, but why the waiting though? Why did you guys wait so long? I know writing.
There's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Honestly, too many to go into.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot. That's a whole other podcast.
Honestly, we could just
have us
talk
back
for like
for
an
that.
hour for that. I'm not even joking.
It'll be like Advent Horizon : the hiatus years.
No, it would be the wait for Rylee.
Yeah, something like that. The waiting for me. It's funny because I didn't go on a mission, but I definitely like did the Mormon thing and like made us put the band on pause so I could figure out my life.
He
and
actually
then come
made us
back.
wait till marriage. So
Yeah, we are kind of like a weird polygamist commune of all of us.
when you put it that
couples
way,
and
it
stuff
kind of
now.
sounds weird, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sounds gross, but I'll take
So
it.
anyway, we're playing with Idola on May 1st at Metro.
Oh my god, this is awful.
We are the opener. It's going to be awesome. It should be sold out or very close
May what?
to May 1st.
Hey,
So that's Wednesday.
hey,
Hey.
that's my birthday.
no
Dude.
shit.
I don't know if we have a guest list to this show because we're just
I
the
know.
opener. If we are, you're on it. You're on the guest list.
No, I will buy him a ticket for his birthday.
There you go. Yeah, so that'll be fun. It's going to be a packed house. Should be a good gig. And then there's also another one that is not officially announced yet, but in central Utah, the first weekend of October. That'll be fun. So watch out for that. I can't say exactly what it is yet, but when they announce, we'll be posting about it. And then there's some other festivals and stuff through the summer that we're working on. There's
nice.
the Chicago gig. There's some other stuff in June that might materialize. So yeah, we're working hard right now on putting together as much as we can. But honestly, like that's all well and good, performing live. I want to perform live. I think we all do. We want to get out and
We
play.
really miss that.
But I think honestly, for us as a band, for the longevity of our of what we've created and the momentum that we've built here, the most important thing we can do right now is write more music and record more music. So that's kind of first and foremost on my mind. That's all of the all of the days that I have off right now are being spent locked in my basement recording Pro Tools demos for new songs.
Yep. And he'll just like shoot me off this demo. Like, hey, what are your thoughts?
I sent him a 21-minute long demo of a song.
I've heard this on the radio. You guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's coming together. It's doing well. And we've got several others we're working on. So it's next album is underway.
So we won't wait 9 hours. 9 hours? Fuck. We might wait 9 hours. 9 years.
The next album, by the way, is called Gentocalypse.
No, it's not.
Sorry, the 21-minute long song is called Gentocalypse. I want to title the album.
No, it's not.
If you look at the Pro Tools demo, it's
working title. Working title. Working title. All right. Cut. We gotta talk. Right? We gotta talk.
Well, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So, new album early next year, probably.
Nice. Hold
Hold me to that. I need you texting me every week about it.
Okay. I'll fucking do it.
You're his reminder.
This. I mean, I get it though, because like this friend that I'm telling you that I bust his balls about this every now and then. The guy that was interviewing that guy Schaefer.
Yeah.
Because he has a lot of artists in his podcast, a lot of hip hop artists, and he's always asking him, "You gotta give us more. You gotta give us more." But me, as knowing how the work that I have to put in to give more, it's not that easy. Right. Like when we interviewed this guy, and he was like, "You know what? This hair of your beard is bothering the shit out of me. So I'm just gonna move it out."
Oh, that's what he said? Oh, that's crazy.
That's
I saw like, it's been there for like 45 minutes. No, so he was like, "You know what? You gotta give us more. You gotta give us more." And I said, "Did you realize how long it takes to write an album? First off, or even if you already wrote an album, this again, we're talking about band and a rapper, right? Bands, however you want to see it, we're talking about 5 wallets." Right, and whatever 5 wallets can do, besides the work that the band does, right? You're talking about this guy being on his own. And I'm like, hey, it's not as easy as just say, hey, give us more, give us more. Like, he has to save. He has to work. He has to, in order to have money to put the work out, he has to take care of his 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. He can't just sit in a studio and just say, I'm done. I'll put out more. So I understand. Now, I don't understand 9 years, but I mean, but I understand taking time, but I think it's nice. Like if you're talking about the beginning of next year, I mean on the other side of things, that's a little rushed for me, but I'll take it.
So our issue is kind of flipped. It's a lot easier with what we have to work with now, especially Rylee's studio, all of our just years and years of like buying equipment and all this stuff. It's a lot easier for Rylee and really us to write songs and then record them and produce them and put them out than it is to put out an album like A Cell to Call Home and create the show that goes along with it. Yeah. Like, I honestly think that most of us have put in more work in a shorter amount of time for our live shows than we did over the 3-year recording process for the album.
That's definitely true for everybody other than me.
Yes.
All of you guys have put in so much time the last couple of months into not even relearning, literally learning these songs, because the drum parts were composed as we recorded them in the studio. You never played any of these songs aside from the day that we laid down the tracks.
I never played the drums along to a guitar for this album.
Right.
I recorded the drums in the studio, just raw dogging it.
Yeah. The only way you know.
Facts.
Yeah, and then there's Grant, who Grant didn't perform at all on the album aside from a couple of vocal parts, and so he had never played any of the guitar parts. He didn't know what key any of the songs were in. He had to listen to the album, and I had to send him videos of myself playing his
Nice.
Well,
myself playing his guitar parts.
All the water's spilling right now. He's like, I gotta keep talking. I'm just kidding.
It's not spilling.
I'm just kidding.
Continue.
Sorry, I was just
I know.
Sorry, no.
Wait,
In my mind, that was I was just flashing back to like 5 hours ago when my son spilled water off the kitchen table, and I was like frowning at him like, Griffin, what did you do? Now I got to clean this up. And then you're sitting here frowning at me like, Rylee, what did you do? There's water spilling.
I'll give you one worse. I just opened the fridge. See, what are we, Wednesday? It was either Monday or Friday. I opened it. We have a fridge, like a legit kitchen break room at the office. And I opened the door, and there was a bottle of 2-liter Dr. Pepper and this much left in it. And I just went, I look at, because I work with Justin, the guy that used to do the podcast with me, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Are my fucking teenage kids working here? I'm like, who? I couldn't believe it. We're surrounded by responsible adult people. I'm like, who? I was like,
but nobody can take the last serving.
I was so frustrated. I'm like, who does this? Like, we're adults here. It's like this much left. I'm like,
God.
I would shoot somebody.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'd murder some bitch for that. Yeah, for sure.
Pathetic.
Yeah, if it was any other soft drink, I don't think I'd care. But Dr. Pepper, that's unholy, man.
Nah, it's
You
Mountain
like
Dew
that?
for me. Now he loves Dr. Pepper.
Dr.
That's
Pepper is
his
my
baby.
beverage of choice.
I can't do Dr. Pepper. I can't do Mr. Pibb. I can't do Sprite. I can't do 7-Up. I can't.
So you're not a Pepsi products guy. Well, Pibb, I guess that's Coke. But.
Yeah, but it's still. I'll do Diet Coke, Fanta. Diet Pepsi sucks.
Fanta's all right. For some reason I can't drink Fanta in the U.S. I love Fanta in other places, and I don't know why. Like,
check out this internet. Check out this international.
I know. I just remember Do you remember the time? Do you remember the 26th night of September? Oh man, how many do you remembers can we come up with?
Oh my God,
dude!
Hold on.
It's funny you say this. I used to have this game with I used to do, the one that was good is my ex-wife and I used to play it, and then I brought it up to an old construction company that I used to work for in my crew. When we decide to make this game, we decide to play it. We say one word and then we go off of that. So if I say for example, love, right? How many songs with the word love?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I go. Someone says, all right, let's go with love. Someone says, stop in the name of love. But now you can pick up this next song out of any word that I just said. So if someone says love and he goes, stop in the name of love, someone goes, stop, hammer time. Or like someone says, just go off of stop or like hammer.
Or time.
Or like time. Yeah. So.
Oh, man.
That would be fun. Now, our drive to Chicago,
I was going to say
that's like a 30-hour drive? We're going to be doing that the entire way.
The whole drive.
Record it.
Yeah, it's going to be like Wheel on the Bus, but like...
Oh, we've talked before about just recording a podcast while we're in the van driving to gigs.
But the problem is we're fucking goofy. And it's
also,
not...
we're terrible.
We're awful people.
Like, the things we say.
The beautiful people. The beautiful people.
Oh, look at all the lonely people.
Oh my God. This is never going to end.
So lonely.
You've got him hooked. You have...
I'm telling you. It will give you entertained the entire night.
No. To put this into perspective, Rylee always does this thing where he'll like make up a word that sounds like another word or like flip letters around in a word. Like you've always done this.
Yeah, the flipping the letters thing is like it's compulsive. I don't even mean to do it. Like somebody will say like doorknob and I'll go nordob. I just like I can't.
It's been years of this.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna do this with music lyrics.
Yeah, but this is relatable. The world, we are all. I'm sorry, I'm still living my life. Musicians. No, I do it. I do it all the time, and I try to play it with. Some people can't. Some people they will give you 2 songs, or they do like, okay, let's play, and then they will play, and they will take 10 minutes to come out with the song. I'm like, dude, I already got the next 3. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is not even fair.
No, the other one that I always do is acronyms. Like anytime anybody says an acronym, like if somebody says UPS, like for the next 5 minutes in my head, I'll come up with 50 different potential acronyms for UPS, and I'll just like blurt them out at increments over the next 5 minutes. You can attest to this.
Yes.
I can't. It's a compulsion. It's like I wouldn't call myself OCD, but that would be my OCD tick, is like having to do acronyms when I hear them.
So now it's going to be music lyrics. I look forward to this.
Lyrics.
Music makes the people come together. Right now, over me.
Right here, right now.
Fuck, it's happening.
Hey, now you're a rock star. Get to go in. See? Oh, you get hours of fucking entertainment.
I am a rock star.
Because we all just want to be big rock stars living in townhouses.
We will. Okay, no, I'm done.
Okay, before we go, tell everybody where they can find you, tickets, album, your guys' OnlyFans, everything.
So Mike's OnlyFans is
OnlyDrummersToes.com.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
ODT.com. I love it.
Yo. All right, I already see the branding. All right, continue.
Yeah, my OnlyFans. Wait, is that what we're doing right now?
No, we're not. We're being serial right now, Rylee.
Okay, so you can find us online at www with the https :/thing before it, adventhorizonmusic.com, adventhorizonmusic.com. And all of our links are there. All of our socials are right there on our main page. Just go to our website. It'll do the rest for you. Everything's there. Find us on Spotify. Listen to us on Spotify. And buy tickets to our album release show. It's next Friday night. That is April 19th, 2024. The ticket link is right on the front page of our website. That is www with the https:/thing before it, adventhorizonmusic.com.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody dance now.
What about personals? You guys don't care about personal socials?
No.
Those are also on our website. I'm not even joking. There's the band page. You click on that. There's a picture of each of us. You hover over that picture, and it'll tell you what our socials are.
I don't have any.
Just go to our website, people. I don't need to say anything else right now.
I was trying to come up with a song. That's why I'm like, like I haven't said anything. I'm just thinking. You can catch us at How Did It Get So Good on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find me at Angel Severa on Instagram, Angel Severa on Facebook. That's my last name. That's right, Cervera. Thank you so much for. I don't know what I was saying. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
This is your guys' home. Anytime.
We love it here.
And when you guys make it, quote unquote, because we don't know what that means, right? You guys never forget. Always remember where you guys came from and what podcast hosted you for the longest time.
We'll always. I mean, this is just a. We were here 2 months ago. This is going to be. Love you. Yeah. I mean, it's been 2 months since we were last on.
Yeah.
2 months, 3 months, something like that. So let's just make it a quarterly thing.
Hey, I'm down.
Yep.
Every quarter.
I'm down.
Have an Advent time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm down. So we will do this again in July.
Let's do it.
Cool.
I'm down.
July 4th.
Hopefully.
Specifically.
No,
Hopefully.
because we're playing in Blanding, Utah.
Oh, yeah,
do you want to
never
come
mind.
down to Blanding, Utah for a July 4th gig and record a podcast
how far is
from
that?
our green
It's
tent?
way too far.
Is it?
Yeah, you don't want
It's an hour south of Moab. You don't want to go there. Cool town, but anyway, this has been wonderful, Angel. Thank you for having us. How did it get so good? How did it get so? How did it get so good? How did it get so? How did it get so good? How did it get so?
This has been How Did It Get So Good? Thank you.
We're not going to do a better ending than that.